Hello everyone, this is Spunkify from Leaguetopten, and today I'm happy to present you Cho'Gath, the Terror of the Void. Cho'Gath is an incredible caster tank when played properly. He can deal large amounts of damage, silence, slow, and knock up opponents all in a fairly large AoE. Not to mention he has one of the best single target nukes in the entire game. For masteries, I go 8-21-1. Since I'm building Cho'Gath as a tank, I make sure to pick up the Cleanse and Tenacity mastery, as well as spec into Improved Ghost. For summoner spells, I go with the typical tank setup, Ghost and Cleanse. Cleanse obviously will help me out of any stuns or slows, and Ghost not only helps me escape, but also allows me to catch up to my opponents for a little Cho'Gath feasting. For runes, I recommend a little different setup from the typical tank rune setup. Since the majority of Cho'Gath's damage is magical, I take magic penetration marks, HP per level seals, flat cooldown glyphs, and cooldown per level quintessences. For my initial items, it really has to depend on my team comp and the enemy's team comp. Cho'Gath is actually a great soloer and can take on 2 enemy champions in a lane quite easily, so if you have a jungler, you can opt to take the second solo lane. If I am to solo, I start with a mana crystal and 2 HP pots. This is because I will be spamming my abilities more frequently to both keep the enemies at bay and regen, since my passive gives me a flat amount of HP and mana per kill I accrue. However, if I'm in a dual lane, I usually just take a ruby crystal, so I can be a bit more aggressive at the front of the minion lines with my laning partner. For my first spell, I start out by taking my Q, which is called Rupture. It's a delayed skill shot that knocks enemies into the air and upon landing, slows them for a small duration. It's great for harassing and last hitting creeps at higher ranks. While in the lane, if I can't get near my creeps due to enemy opposition, I use my Q to last hit them from afar. If you're aiming for the creeps, try to place them in the middle of one of the minion packs. At rank 1, it will take a minion wave to around half HP, which is perfect for last hitting. For my second spell, I take my E, which is called Vorpal Spikes. This is a passive which adds an AoE conal attack to my auto attacks for some additional damage. It's great for harassing melee champions and for providing a bit of extra damage early on in order to last hit more creeps. However, past this point I don't recommend tanking any more ranks of it until late game. At level 3 I get Feral Scream, which is a conal AoE damaging silence. This ability is great for team fights, but around rank 2 or 3 it can also be used in conjunction with your Q to clear entire creep waves, making it a great farming tool. After level 3, I continue maxing my Q and W till level 6, where I get my ultimate, which is Cho'Gath's claim to fame, Feast. Feast is a super small ranged nuke, which deals 300 damage to enemy players at level 1, 500 damage at level 2, and 800 damage at level 3. At all ranks it deals 1000 damage to all minions. If you kill an enemy player or unit with it, then Cho'Gath gains a Feast stack, which increases his total HP and makes him grow in size. Many times at rank 1 or even 2, you will use your ulti on someone only for them to escape with less than 100 HP and result in you not obtaining a stack. This is why I recommend you use your Feast on minions when possible until you reach 6 stacks, where you can focus on using your ulti as more of a nuke rather than worrying about scoring a stack with it. As you saw in this clip, I had to burn Ghost in order to catch up to my Feast target, and even after feasting on him, he was still left with a little bit of HP left, so my ally got the kill and I did not get a stack. There are several tank build routes you can go with Cho'Gath. You can build a hybrid AP tank, or you can go a more traditional tank build. Both work well, and in the end it comes down to what you prefer. Hybrid Cho'Gath consists of an early Rod of Ages and usually a Warmogs. This gives your spells an extra kick and provides a bit more sustained DPS. However, it does give up some survivability. Another popular build is to rush a Banshee's Veil, which means you again benefit from a Catalyst and then you build a Guardian's Angel. Since you lose 3 stacks upon death, a Guardian's Angel will ensure you retain them if you do get initially focused in teamfights. Whichever build you prefer, in the end you still will have around 3,000 to 4,000 HP with simply 1 or 2 HP items, making you quite a hard target to bring down. During mid to late game, Cho'Gath is an excellent farmer. With his Q and W combo, he can clear creep waves instantly, and he can clear out almost any jungle creep camp as well. Because his ultimate does 1000 damage to minions, you can use it as a smite in order to secure golem buff for yourself which reduces your feast to only around 30 seconds with cooldown runes. In teamfights, it's always good to position yourself either on top or in front of your squishy teammates. Because Cho'Gath at full stacks is so large, it will be hard for your enemies to target anyone else besides you, meaning you can absorb the majority of their damage in a head-on confrontation and allow them to attack from under your huge body. Since you're the tank, you will want to initiate the teamfight by placing your Q in an area where you feel you can disable the enemy champions who pose the most risk. You'll then want to run in and attempt to silence as many targets as possible, since Cho'Gath's silence is the longest one in the game, and a well-placed silence can cripple the enemy team. At the end of the team fights, if the enemy team has a runner, Cho'Gath can easily chase them down with the use of Ghost and Rupture. You can actually lead your Rupture attack by placing it a few feet in front of the fleeing enemy. By the time they reach that spot, Rupture will be ready to go off, and you will have been able to slow them in time to catch up and potentially feast on them. Overall, Cho'Gath is an extremely well-rounded and rewarding caster tank, capable of growing to huge sizes and HP amounts. His skill shot is rewarding when it hits, his silence is super effective, and it's insanely fun to nom people with feast. In the end, a good Cho'Gath is nearly impossible to kill, and can be a huge threat to the enemy due to his AoE spells and his high damage ultimate. This has been Spunkify for Leaguetopten, and remember, watch out for those random Rupture targets that fly a little higher than you're used to.